Now, April is Autism Awareness Month, a time to shine a light on the neurological disorder that affects millions of people worldwide. But what is autism and how does it impact those who live with it? Our reporter Faith Imani Mugo has been speaking to experts and caregivers of children affected by autism. Take a look.
For every 25 children born, 4 of them will have autism.
Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a developmental disorder that affects social communication and interaction in human beings. Statistics according to the World Health Organization estimates that around the globe, 1 in every 100 children have autism, and the condition can range from mild to severe, according to experts.
Autism is a medical disorder. That should come out very clear. It is a medical disorder. So when the brain development has an issue, you tend to acquire what we call autism spectrum disorder. Traditionally, they were grouped. Like you find someone has a medical condition that is called pervasive brain, like you're not able to learn or you're not able to communicate just because a certain part of the brain did not develop well. As time goes by, we've come to put it together that all these things, it is autism spectrum disorder. So it is an abnormality in brain development of a child. It is a brain disorder that affects a person or a child's behavior, social, and communication skills.
The impact of autism can be felt not just by those living with the condition, but their families and caregivers too.
The school started in 2016.
Violet, a special teacher at the Tafi School, says the school has been in the forefront in supporting children with autism.
Right now, we don't have an autism curriculum, but we have levels that we group them. And these levels, they start with foundation level. Foundation level is a level where it's for beginners. Like the way you take a child into playgroup and learn basic things like holding a pencil, holding a spoon, making the child to settle down, to calm down. That's the foundation level, and teaching basic things. Like coloring, we do things like pick and drop, we do things like toileting. That's the foundation level. Then after foundation level, we go to intermediate level. Intermediate level, at least sasa asha gain iyo knowledge ya ni nini ya holding a spoon, holding a toothbrush, holding a pencil and scribbling. Into intermediate, now you start doing like picture reading, recognizing items, things like body awareness, introduce vocational, but in small bits. And then after intermediate, there is what we call vocational level. Vocational level, we train now the children wamepata hizo skills. So hizo skills sa tunaziperfect, and pia inaendana na pia interest ya mtoto. You know, with these kids living with autism, you can't force them to do something they don't want. Every child ako able in a specific area kuliko ingine.
As Violet narrates, it takes patience to handle and manage children with autism.
You must be patient because each child takes his or her own time to reach a certain goal. And for us here at Tafi, We usually write individualized education programs. Those are goals for each and every child. So these goals are the ones that guide us on what to train the child. Because if a child is admitted at our school, we do, we call it observation. We give 2 weeks of observation. We observe the strengths of the child, the weaknesses of the child, the likes and the dislikes of the child. And then as the staff, we sit down, we say, for example, John can do this and this, and he's not able to do certain things. So whatever he's not able to do, that's what we write as our goal. And our main aim here at Tafi is to make them as independent as possible.
Over the years, the school has brought up many children with autism. At the moment, only 15 children are enrolled in the school, which she says for each child, they use different approaches for their development. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to autism, and it's important to understand each person's individual needs, as the experts say.
And you find that because of the spectrum, some children have differences in tastes. You may find that the food that you are providing here, the child may take long to adapt to it. Yeah. And other challenges, you may find that some of the kids are too hyper, some are too hyper. Managing them becomes a bit difficult. And also diet helps a lot. The autism diet, the gluten-free, sugar-free, red meat-free, and milk-free foods. Yeah. So here we don't do sugar, we don't do red meat, we don't do milk. My children here take porridge, take all the cereals, all the grains, uji with no sugar. Yeah, and it helps them to calm down, and it changes them a lot.
According to medics, autism can be diagnosed as early as 2 years, and early intervention can make a big difference in a child's development.
You don't have to wait until a child has fever, for example, to see a pediatrician. Come and see a pediatrician and just ask the pediatrician, this is my feeling about the child, how the child assessed. Early assessment might help us to pick up anything that might be autism in developing. One thing I've seen, we tend to diagnose autism 5 years, 6 years, when it's a little bit late to start the intervention. So bring your children for routine pediatric review. That will help us alleviate any opportunity to have delayed autism.
Specialists say there are many therapies and interventions available for individuals with autism, including behavioral, speech, and occupational therapies.
Some of the challenges that you are facing at Tafi, some of them is lack of early intervention. You find that a child, the parents did take him or her into early intervention. And for us, we love early intervention because that's where we laid the foundation of the child. If the child is more of age and he or she did not begin at school, it becomes a challenge to us because you find that the mind of that child has already grown. So taking him or her into the foundational level, it becomes quite a challenge. Some they don't want to do the activities.
Children with autism often struggle with communication and social interaction, which can make school a challenging environment.
The way I interact, the way I communicate, the way I behave vary on the environment I am, vary on how I was brought up, vary on what I'm doing. The same applies to persons diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. You will find those ones that are too hypersensitive, too hyperactive. And some are very painful stories where the mother has to tie the child inside the house because the child will jump, put the TV down, goes to the kitchen, put everything down, hyperactive. Some, it's totally the opposite. They are just there. They are just there. They don't even know their name. Some, they know their name. They can feed themselves, but they cannot do simple logical things. They cannot learn. They have learning disability. You take this child to school, maybe it is Banda International School. The child doesn't comprehend what the teacher is teaching. You take them to which kind of, you offer even additional tuition, they are just there. Okay? Because of the disorder that took place in the brain.
So right here, this is one of the therapy rooms that these caregivers and teachers come every single morning to just help the kids relax and kick off their day by massaging them and helping them have a relaxed mood as they kick off the day.
We do applied behavior analysis where we modify behaviors. Behaviors such as things, you may find that children are self-injurious. Some may start biting themselves, some banging their heads, some they want to just climb somewhere high, na ajiangushe. Yeah. So those are the behaviors that we try to modify, and we do lots of therapy to them. They require lots of therapy. They require lots of reinforcement. We have positive and negative reinforcement if a child is self-injurious. Ama kama unataka kutoa behavior mbaya, unatumia positive or negative reinforcement. And what I mean by positive reinforcement is where you reward a child. Unaweza ambia mtoto, ukijiuma, usipojiuma, unamreward na kitu yenye anapenda. Maybe the child loves music. I'll give you my phone, watch music for 10 minutes. And for negative reinforcement, ni yenye unamwambia Tanya, ukijiuma, today, the whole of today, no phone for you. Okay, inakuwa ni kama unamrestrict. At least inaenda ikipungua.
Sensory toys and other aids can be helpful for children with autism. They provide a calming and soothing effect that can help children manage their emotions.
But the good thing, when identified early intervention, as time goes by, you realize you have less investment or you have less need for this child, but than when you identify it late. When you identify late, that's where you'll even find a parent has to get like 2 house girls to take care of one child. Just as we were saying that there's low data on autism, it translates to the community that the parents are also not so much aware that, number one, autism is a medical condition. It is not witchcraft. It is not your fault. You cannot say, I did this, and so I caused my child to have autism. So don't keep this child inside the house. Don't hide them. It is a medical condition.
Autism is a complex and often misunderstood condition, but by raising awareness and promoting acceptance, we can make a real difference to the lives of those with autism and their families.
Putting an autism child in a special school is quite expensive, and you may find that a parent feels overwhelmed because they require a lot of care. Some require medicine, and these medicines are quite expensive. We may like the government to fund on the drugs that these children are using, because they are very expensive for a parent to and also fund on the school fees.
Just the way we have National Council for Persons with Disability register individuals that has disability. Okay? Disability right now, we have different domains of disability. We have physical disability, mental, visual, hearing. Okay? We may need to think under the domain of progressive and something like that. Those severe cases of autism spectrum disorder, their parents should be given some benefits that comes with persons registered with disability. We knew that if you are disabled, you had some maybe tax exemption. Your NHIF may be improved. If God helps you, you want to buy a car, it's subsidized maybe or waived. If you need a wheelchair, you can be facilitated. Let's consider the parents. Let's consider the mothers of these children. Because we are not going to wait until this child gets 21 to say this child is disabled. It's a lot of work going on to live with that child just a single day.
Some of the success stories that we have 2 children. We have one who did a class 8. He used to come here for tuitioning. And there is another one who has integrated into a normal, let me call it normal school. Yeah, ndio aendelee kusoma na wengine. We have some who are here, like these, they're the ones who do them. We have candle making. There is one who is always interested in candle making and packaging them. We have children who have come here the age of 14, 15 and above, not toilet trained, but we've trained them and they can go to the toilet independently.
Autistic children require special attention, and as the doctors say, early detection and proper management can help improve the condition of this child. Faith Imani Mugo for Home TV News Watch.